Hey guys, this is William here. I'm the designer and developer of Manifold Garden, and today I want to show you guys this tree generator tool that we've been working on for the past 2 weeks. So basically, trees play a very important role in the game, both with the puzzles and the levels. Not going to go into that right now in detail, but anyway, you can see this tree has a very distinct shape. They're all 90 degrees. All these kind of rectangular pieces, and then all the leaves are cubes at the end of these up branches. And the big difference is, the thing you'll notice is that there are these trunks which are 1 unit across, and then the branches which are 0.5 units across. So now these were built by hand. And the original plan was I was going to build about 100 of them, and I got to 4 and decided that was just way too much work. So I want to show you kind of how I was going about building them. Basically, I use ProBuilder to do all the modeling in the game, and it's incredibly useful. So this is basically what we're doing. I kind of take one piece, duplicate it, move it up, bring it down. So you know what, let's color this one so that I can see it. Let's see, I duplicated that one over. So, you know, this is how I would do it. Let's say I wanted it to actually grow out this way. So you know, once you get it set up with a few basic ones in all the different directions, you can kind of just use those to kind of like duplicate them and then use those to build out the trunk. So the problem is that this process is actually quite tedious. It can easily take about an hour, you know, I mean, especially with a lot of the fine-tuning. I mean, here I was just kind of going about randomly about it, but if you can imagine putting all these branches, getting everything right, it can take quite a while. And the problem too is, so, you know, someone asked, like, well, why don't you just keep reusing the 5 trees that you've built, the 4 or 5 trees that you've built throughout the game? And I was planning on doing that. However, there is quite a big variation in the size and types of trees that are needed. And also, this forces me to then design levels around the trees, which is not really something I want to do. So, for example, if we take a look at this tree, it might not look like it takes up, you know, the base. It's only 1 by 1, right? So it doesn't look like it takes up that much space, but it's actually quite a significant bit of volume that's taken up. So, because you know, this wall is 19.5 units across, so I think that tree is like 17 units across, so it gets there. It needs quite a bit of room, a surprising amount of room. So you kind of have to design the level around it, and the problem is that you have very different needs from room to room. So it was really difficult to try to, you know, work around the tree sizes. So what we decided to do was to make a tool to then generate a whole bunch of trees for us. So this is the tool. I just hit a Control-Shift-T and it brings it up. It's a shortcut. And this is, you know, this is a tool that it's just for me to use. It's not something that we plan on releasing, mostly because you sort of have to know the code base pretty well in order to be able to use it. But these are all the variables that are open up. So what we've got is this tree volume bounding box. So that's the red box, and then the green box is the trunk volume bounding box. So the trunk never goes out of the green part, but the entire tree never goes out of the red box. And it's they're not super precise right now. You do kind of have to like fine-tune things. So there is still a bit of fine-tuning involved, but it still saves us a significant amount of work. So let me go ahead and just generate a tree. So you can see already that we are able to get a huge variety of tree shapes, even with all the same parameters. And let me explain a bit. So yellow means that it's the start of a trunk piece. Blue, light blue, it's a horizontal piece. Transition, this green is a transition trunk, which means that branches grow out of them. So you can see that right? The branches grow out of these green trunk pieces, and the red branch signals that it's the start of the branch. So that just lets you know where it's coming from. Same thing, yellow is the start of a trunk. So that's especially, so you can see here what we've done is a split. It's split into two trunks, and the yellow one continues and the green one is a transition. So, and then here we have, so we're able to change a bunch of, you can change the bounding size box, right? So if we want kind of a tree that's more even on all sides, we can do that. So the tree will kind of generate to fill that space. So here you can see, you know, we are having the leaves kind of go out of there. So maybe we can shrink this a bit. There we go. All right, still, you know, we do it even some more. So, and then what we can also change, this is how many pieces we grow before we do our first split. So basically every trunk that generated, the split index goes down by 1. This is our probability of splitting. This is the probability that it'll split into 3 pieces instead of 2. Transition probability that it'll become a transition trunk. Upward growth probability, so this is the probability that we get an upward branch like this dark blue one, so that's an upward trunk. Right, this is so we have properties for the trunk, we have properties for the branches, we have properties for the leaves, so we can change kind of the minimum width and the maximum width. So let's go ahead and change the upward trunk, or let's, you know, make it very likely to grow upward. So you can see right now these are kind of reaching the top of this box a lot more, whereas if we do something like that, the tree tends to be a lot shorter. So, you know, none of these trees are 100% perfect. There's still a bit of fine tuning. You gotta go in. I gotta do, for example, let's see. There's a lot of places where you end up getting branches kind of growing into each other. So, for example, like here, it would be a lot nicer if this was offset here to the right, and you know, if this piece was actually, you know, I might go ahead and delete. Yeah, it's like, you know, this would be a lot nicer if it moved over here a bit. But the thing is, what's important is that this is already saving me a pretty significant amount of work. That's just so the leaf has the materials disappear. That's just kind of a Pro Builder thing, but anyway, you can see this has saved me a tremendous amount of work already. I just kind of got to go in and do some pruning. And the thing is, yeah, we could spend more time on, you know, making this algorithm even more perfect, but I really don't think that's worth it. We'd have to do something super tricky where we're constantly like raycasting and having branches talk to one another, and that's not something I really want to bother with. And this is really, for me, good enough for our purposes. Basically just getting kind of the basic elements. So like, for example, this, you know, I might move this over and we'll just drag this out, right? And this is pretty great already. Oh yeah, we do have the double gravity trees, but we're gonna worry about that a little bit later. So anyway, this is our tree generator tool. So yeah,